Aloha and welcome back to the SAVI CHIX Show on Think Tech Hawaii. It's wonderful to have you again. And today I'm really excited to have another guest all the way from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada, where I grew up. So it should be quite fun. We're going to be talking all about everyday athletes and creating a positive body image through this type of lifestyle and training. Now, our guest today is no stranger to being an athlete as well as coaching them and living with them. Tiff Plower has been an athlete for many years. We actually played sport together in high school, rugby. I know girls play rugby and soccer, as well as she went on to play soccer all the way to the semi-pro level and played in Melbourne, Australia. Also, her mother and father were athletes themselves. Her dad a semi-pro hockey player, and her mother traveling all around Canada as a figure skater, only to have two sons who played NHL hockey. So anyone who knows athletes knows NHL hockey is the absolute top of your game. So Tiff, living in this family as a pro athlete, or semi-pro athlete rather, knows everything that you need to know about the mindset and the confidence and the healthy lifestyle that it takes to be an everyday athlete. Welcome, Tiff.
Hi, Chantel. How are you?
Aloha. I'm good. Long little intro for you, but it sets the stage of, who you are and where you've come from. So it's pretty cool to have you here. It's been a long time since I've seen you.
I know. I graduated in 1999, and you were 2 years younger than me. So, but we played.
Don't tell anyone.
Yeah, rugby.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm 20.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, no, it's we played a bit of, the last time we would have seen each other was pretty much the rugby field, probably.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't play rugby as long as you did because my soccer started taking precedent over with the training and everything like that. So I was at that age I had to pick and choose, and I chose soccer. But yeah, rugby, it was still fun because I like growing up with two hockey brothers. The whole aspect of being able to hit someone was cool.
I know. Whenever I tell people when I was living in Australia that I played rugby, I'm thinking, I didn't realize that many girls played rugby, but in Saskatchewan, I mean, there's quite a few teams, so it was...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and our women's rugby team for Team Canada has been making huge strides, and I think Canada has really advanced for women sport. I mean, you can look at our women's hockey team, our women's soccer team, the things that they're doing, and our women's rugby team. So
they breed them tough in Saskatchewan or in Canada. Yeah. That's awesome. And so... just a bit of background about your soccer, actually, because that's what you ended up getting to quite an elite level with. So how old were you when you started playing soccer?
So I started playing at about 6 years old, and it was really great. I started playing in Ontario, which is the east of Canada, where the population of soccer for women, for girls, was really big. So when I started out, it was I could play under 6 or under 8, and there was 14 other all-girls teams, which was really cool. And then I moved out to Saskatchewan, which it was just kind of getting the ball rolling. So when I moved here, I was
getting the ball rolling.
rolling, yeah. No pun. No. So when I came out here, I ended up playing with a lot of guys. So what would happen is I'd play a sport in the winters and most of it soccer, but in the summertime I'd go play with all the hockey guys. So just because there wasn't enough girls to make like a full-fledged league. So that's how I started, and then soccer became really popular and girls started playing at a more higher intense level, and there was a lot more funding and stuff like that. So, but I would think that myself along with my teammates, who I'm still friends with today, we were kind of helped pioneer and push forward the competitive end of women's soccer in Saskatchewan, that's for sure.
That's exactly what it is, and I guess that's what you've continued to do throughout your whole life, was basically to pioneer and help women or girls really get to the forefront and play at more competitive levels. And as you were saying when we had the conversation yesterday, and this is why you created the Pace Athletic Center, was to make sure that girls had the opportunities that guys have. So
yeah, because girls always, like, there was always when we were growing up, the hockey guys were always doing training, like off-ice training and everything like that. And us soccer girls, we'd be working out in the same facility as the football players and the track and field players. I remember, though, like when I was 13, 14, we'd be pushed off to the side and we'd have to do our workout over in this area just by ourselves kind of thing. And which really was like, at the time you didn't notice, but then when I was growing up, I was like, hey, we were just as important as these guys, but for some reason male sport was just so much higher up as considered elite, you know, because they get the big money, they can make kind of a career out of their sport, and everyone, especially in Saskatchewan, I mean, who doesn't want to be an NHL player? I think everyone and their dog wants to. So it'd be like, oh, you're a hockey player? Yeah, you get to go do this. And it really like made me kind of step back a bit and just be like, hey, I don't want any of the other girls who are going to be playing sport, whether it's soccer, hockey, basketball, or football that they do play here now too, rugby, feel that way. And so I try to create an environment. And I still train a lot of males, a lot of young teenage males, which is great. And because I kind of mother them, I take a different approach than most male trainers. But I give those female those female athletes, I understand where they're coming from now, because I've been there, and I don't want them. I need to push them and get them to where I was and better.
And I guess that, with your, like you and me growing up, we were sort of, I guess, not tomboyish, but more so easy to be around the guys, or even if you know it was to go train with them and still not. It wasn't ideal, but still not feel as bad. Whereas there are a lot of girls out there still today that are, you know, not as confident when it comes to being in that sort of environment. So by giving them the opportunity to make them feel like they belong there and not to feel intimidated is something that's really great, because I mean, it only helps your lifestyle by being healthy and fit. And if you're shying away from something like that, going to the gym because you're embarrassed or because the guys are sort of dominating, then you know, where do you go, or what do you end up doing? So that's
that's exactly true. And I know too, when I played university soccer, a lot of times it would be like, oh, you play soccer, you must be lesbian. It's a stereotype. Or you play hockey, and I'm like, no, I'm not. I have lots of friends who are, but no, I'm not. Or like, I wanted to be strong. I don't want to be skinny, mini. I want to be strong, and I want to lift like how the guys lift and stuff like that. And there was always such a taboo around it. And now I think we've come a long way since that. And it's really good to see, and it's good to instill that into the younger athletes, especially the female athletes that I see right now that I train. And their go-get-it attitude, and it's like the sky's the limit. And I remember, like, they have female idols, you know, like, who did I look up to? I looked up to Wayne Gretzky or David Beckham, you know. I had no one, maybe Mia Hamm, you know.
That's true. I haven't actually even thought of that. And I think the most important thing is actually getting them to also focus on themselves, because when you're in an environment where you're feeling self-conscious because there's, you know, people around you, or what you might look like, or are they watching me, you just have them so self-focused. And that's, I guess, what we really want to touch in on here is, you know, having a positive body image, to just go there and not have to worry, you know, feeling confident about yourself, that you don't care who's watching you or if you can lift more than someone else or what it is that you're doing, just to be able to go out and get it done, whatever it is that you want to do.
Yeah, for sure. That's huge for girls too. I mean, like, I find females, and males are like this too, but I find females, we're our toughest critic. You know, like, we look at each other, and a lot of times, like, are we pulling up each other, or are we putting each other down? It's kind of, we're in between a lot of times. And when I see women and girls come in a team environment like I grew up in, and you have that support, and you have that go-get-'em attitude, and that rah, 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 and like, you can do this, it's really special to see.
And I guess you would have got a lot of that from the family you grew up in, because I know, and that was something really, really neat that you told me about your mom, and how, you explain it like you did, but basically how you just saw her skating every day, rather than just going for success. You just saw her leading by example.
Yeah, she led by example, and she is, I kid you not, she has probably taught anyone who wanted to do skating in Saskatoon, she's probably taught. And she's known as a hard-nosed coach. But it's not, because she just expects you to do well and to start what you finished. And we see her go in there day in and day out and plug away. And I mean, like, a skating rink isn't really the nicest environment sometimes in the middle of a Saskatchewan winter when it's minus 40 degrees Celsius. And you got to.
I don't miss that.
Yeah. It's not the most ideal situation to be in, but you know what? She was really passionate about what she did, and in her own right. She's an entrepreneur as well. And so it really like helped me like have an awesome, positive role model growing up.
And it paid off, obviously, with your brothers. Literally paid off, having two brothers who play
Yeah.
NHL. I mean, how did that even happen? That's incredible.
So you know what, my brothers, it was so crazy, but I had two brothers. My middle one, Kobe, he came by it naturally, and then there was Riley, my youngest one, and he had to work his butt off. And each way they took a different path to get what they wanted to do, but they did it, and it wasn't because anyone pushed them or anything. My parents just supported. A lot of times people think like, oh, you have a pro athlete, you must have been a hard knocked father, you must have been like go get him, mom. But my parents were pretty much, do what you want to do, and if you love it, you go for it, but once you start it, you can't finish it. Or you have to finish it. So if we started the year playing a sport and we didn't like it halfway, that's too bad, we had to finish it. So and I think my brothers really took that to heart, and now they have like the most awesome success that you could have in professional hockey.
Because Kobe ended up playing for, what teams did he end up playing for? Quite a few.
Yeah, so he was drafted in the first round, 21st overall, in 2001 to the Pittsburgh Penguins. So he played with the Penguins, and he got traded to Atlanta Thrashers, which they're now the Winnipeg Jets. And then he got traded to Toronto Maple Leafs and then Montreal Canadiens. So, and now he's one of the most well-liked, I guess, sports broadcasters in Canada now for Sportsnet. So that's really great.
I think he was always well liked. I remember him in high school. He was always so funny. So he's a pretty likable kind of character. So it's just good to see.
He is, and he's so down to earth. He just brings it to you, right? Like, he has not changed one bit. He just totally remembers where his roots are, and I think that's what like Saskatchewan people, Chantal, I think that's what we're known for. Like we're just hardworking, nose to the grindstone. Genuine, nice people. And so he's totally taken that and has gone with it.
And so did you have that kind of team environment in your family then? I guess because you had it obviously in soccer and in rugby, and that's a bit of your personality, what you're creating. So what was that like growing up in a family who was so team-orientated?
Competitive about everything. Try to do a snake and ladders game with our family, it would not happen. Like, the ladders would be flying, like everything would be crazy. We were really, really competitive, but I think that's what made us who we are and where we are today. Like there's sometimes I look back and I'd be like, oh, I shouldn't have punched my brother there, but you know what? I got punched right back. So maybe I shouldn't have done that, but you know what? I wouldn't change it for the world. Like, look at where we are today. I think I always ask, mom and dad, they got to be pretty proud of the kids that they've raised.
Wow, yeah, incredible. And now, we just popped a picture up there of you and your own family, so it's really neat to be able to see, which we'll touch on in the next segment, because we're about to take a break. But, you raising 3 daughters now, and how important that is to raise them with the same values that you were raised with, but as well as a positive body image, which is so important in today's society.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy, for sure.
Yeah, so I'm very much looking forward to our next segment. We're going to just take a short break here. So we'll see you back here on Think Tech Hawaii, the SAVI CHIX Show. Also, keep in mind that you can call us or tweet us with any questions for Tiff. So see you after the break.
Hello, I'm Crystal from Quack Talk. I've got a new show here. You've got to tune in. Check out my topics on sensitive, provocative female issues. So Tuesday mornings, 10 o'clock. Don't miss it. It's going to be fun and dangerous.
Aloha, everybody. My name is Mark Shklov. I'd like you to join me for my program, Law Across the Sea, on thinktechhawaii.com. Aloha.
Aloha, this is Maria Mera, and I'm here to invite you to my bilingual show, Viva Hawaii on Think Tech Hawaii, every other Monday at 3 p.m. We're here to inform, motivate, and entertain you. Join us. Hola, soy María Mera y estoy aquí para invitaros a mi show bilingüe Viva Hawaii en Think Tech Hawaii cada 2 lunes a las 3 de la tarde. Estamos aquí para informaros, motivaros y entreteneros. Apuntaros.
Welcome back to the SAVI CHIX Show on Think Tech Hawaii. We're all about inspiring and empowering women and girls to be the best they can be, and who better to do that with than our guest Tiff Plower today. She is going to teach us all about how you can have be an everyday athlete, because we should all be everyday athletes, just being healthy and fit and confident, as well as have a positive body image, because in today's society it's quite challenging, and the more that you're confident within, the more you can shine from without and really achieve everything that you want to in life. So welcome back, Tiff.
Hi, thank you.
Yeah, so that was a very little short break.
Yeah, it was.
Now I want to lead into what you're actually doing, but before we go to that, can you just give us a little bit of what it was like to play semi-pro soccer, or sort of your journey after high school and how you got to doing that, just so we get a bit more insight into your life?
Yeah, so I played competitive, the highest that you could play in our province, and playing at the national level. So I represented our province multitudes of times in provincial team and club soccer, and it got me to travel all across Canada. I've been to every province because of it. Then I ended up playing CIS, which is the university, it's the highest soccer you can play, I guess, in Canada. And then I decided to just kind of do a little trip, and just for the heck of it, contacted a team in Melbourne, and they were interested in having me, and I kind of gave them my soccer resume, and so I went down and played a year, which was amazing, and so that's what I did. And then I came back, and I always wanted to be involved in soccer. It just has given, that sport to me has loved me so much. I can't even possibly give back to what it has given me. And but now I get to train young girls. I do some coaching volunteer wise, but I mostly do training with them. So building them up, getting them stronger. Just stuff like that.
I remember watching you play soccer, or sometimes playing with you, and just being so fast and so good. I mean, you were a star, just a natural star always.
Oh, thank you.
When it comes to, for girls wanting to follow a career in soccer, what would be your advice to them?
You know what? It's a hard path to make, and maybe career, you have to be really passionate about it, because you're definitely not going to see a lot of money. So it would be really hard to pick a career, but I think that you just got to find something that you love, and for me it was soccer, and just go out. Like, you can tell those kids that really love something, because when no one's around them and no one's watching, they're the ones that are working on their juggling or dribbling and stuff like that. And so it's just that little time spent just loving the sport just for what it is, and with you and the ball, and that's it. And sometimes that's all it takes for you to go to the next step, and just being very familiar and with yourself as an athlete, like getting to know how you move, what your strengths, what your weaknesses are, and then where your weaknesses are, what you can do to improve on them. So
that's such good advice, and actually it really applies to all areas of life, or whatever it is that you want to pursue, because if it's something that you almost not secretly love, but it's something that you always want to do, it tends to be your passion and the area that you should follow and work on. So that's great advice. Quick question, what was your position again? What position did you end up playing?
Oh yeah, I played defense. I was a center back.
Tough defender.
Or right wing. I'd play outside mid. I ran the flanks and defended a lot. So I was pretty solid. So I was able to knock around a few people back there. Sure they didn't score.
And so from playing, you went and played the soccer in Australia, and then I understand you came back, worked for Hockey Canada for a bit. And what did you do there?
Yeah, so I worked for Hockey Canada, which is awesome. So if you are from Canada, it's the place to be, really. Like, if you're a sports fan or enjoy sport, Hockey Canada has really put themselves as excellent. Like, they're the terms of excellence. And so what I did there's a international tournament called World Juniors that starts every December 26th, and it runs for 11 days. And what I did there, I was the volunteer coordinator for 2,500 volunteers. And so I worked with recruiting them, clothing them, getting how I'm going to feed them, where they're going to work, organizing all the logistics aspect of that tournament, which ran for 11 days. And yeah, it was fantastic. I made amazing contacts, and I couldn't think of a better way to spend Christmas. Really, it was really great. It was really cool.
I think what's so neat about that, and for you to share it, being someone with an athletic background who likes sport and likes being around that, just to showcase how many careers are in the industry of sport that you might not think about. I mean, that's a great position.
Yeah, it's very good. Actually, there is a degree, I believe, that you can take, and I think it's really big in Eastern America, and Eastern of the U.S., so like Boston and that kind of stuff. It's sports recreational. So what you do is you take sports like men and all that kind of stuff. So you can work with like baseball teams, football teams, and all that kind of stuff. If you like that kind of stuff, then it's not really work. Like you're going and you get to hang around with these people, and you're like, man, this is what I'm doing for a job. This is unreal.
Someone's paying me for this, and it's cool because your background's actually kinesiology, so you can work in different areas, and it's just a matter of going for what I guess inspires you. But education's always important. I find no matter what you're going to do, it always guides you to where you're going to be. And you're very educated now, I guess. Then you've created the Pace Athletic Center with all your. Now you've got your nutrition qualification and you've got a personal training. So tell us about that. That's exciting. I really want to talk about what you're doing there and your background.
You bet. So in the fitness world, it is ever evolving. So if you just want to just like sit back and just let it ride out, there's going to be people just pushing and scraping their tops, like just trying to get to the top of the ladder and that kind of stuff. And who can you trust, kind of thing. And so I go out and I try to find different certifications that are going to help me help my clients. And that's what it's all about at the end. What can I do to benefit people who are looking for me to help motivate them, inspire them, get them moving, keep them moving, and help them reach their goals? So so I got Precision Nutrition, which is an awesome course, and actually anyone if this is something that you're interested in, you can totally go take a look at it. And then I got my personal training diploma, and I'm involved with CAUSE. It's a Canadian Association for Athletic and Sport for Women. I'm a leader in that as well, and so that's pretty cool too.
Actually, you were telling me before some really cool statistics. Do you have those by chance when it comes to because it's all to do with creating everyday athletes, which is what you do.
So CAUSE, they did a research thing, and what they came up with is they found that girls, if they're not involved in sport by the age of 10, there was only 10% chance as an adult for them to be active. And that's just being active. That's not even being involved in sport. That's just not being sedentary. And then they also did a thing saying 84% of adult women don't participate in sport at all. Like, I don't know if they took this into consideration, but I don't even know if that's like even like bowling. Like, no one does anything. Like, it's just like table tennis or something. Come on, people, let's move.
It's incredible. I mean, I guess, but it's one of those things, even people that did play sport, like we know, say, ourselves, a lot of people that we played sport with, I mean, you and I sort of gravitated towards just continuing being active, fit sort of people, but often as the sport finishes, and it's not, you lose that sense of community, and I mean, I guess as people sort of give up on the idea altogether unless they have a community base, which is why I'm so excited about what you're creating, and I'm looking forward to coming there when I come to Saskatoon in a few weeks. So, but just awesome to see exactly what you do down there, because that sense of community is something. It's not only missing the sport and the actual athleticism and the healthy benefits, but it's that sense of community that is really important for women and girls to establish confidence in themselves and their body image.
Yeah. It's so important for women. We're social creatures, right? So like boot camps, those kind of things. Like if you're having a hard time getting started, you have to go find a workout buddy. Like get a workout buddy. Once you got that, that's like honestly like 3/4 of the hurdle crossed already, because we're such social creatures. We need that. You talk to any girls, what's the hardest part of when your sport comes to an end? It's leaving the people. It's that dressing room banter that you have. It's like riding the bus together. You miss that. And so with the girls that I have now, what I'm trying to, like, are they going to play national level? Who knows? Some of them might, like some of them might do what I did, and that would be fantastic. But what I try to instill in them is that no matter what, we will be here, Pace will be here. And so when you start going to university and you're going to become a lawyer or you're a doctor or an accountant or something like that, I've already instilled them a healthy lifestyle and a healthy balance and positive body image, that I'm a place that they're always going to be coming back to me because I've given them that, like I've started them off young and they enjoy it. I make it fun for them. They don't even know that they're working out and getting stronger, it's just, and that's the same even with the women, like their moms come to me, their soccer moms, and I love it because I'm eventually going to be a soccer mom, and I really resonate with these women now, and so that's really cool as well. I really enjoy that.
Because it's neat. It goes the whole way through. I mean, you started with athletes, and then you're quite passionate about the young people and the young girls. But now, being yourself a mother of 3, now you can relate to the mums. And it's so. Is there something that you see from girls to just professional women to mothers that is the same sort of underlying thing that they're looking for when they come to train or come to your athletic center?
You know what? Everyone just wants to be a better version of themselves, right?
That's so true. It really.
Yeah, it is. And I try not to focus, like what's that saying? Like, strong is the new skinny. Like, it's not, you want to, how much are you lifting over there? Everyone, so even if we're not in that sport environment, we're still a little bit competitive with ourselves, and it's everyone's like that though. It's like human nature to be like that, I think, just to have a little bit of like, come on, let's do this. Or like, oh, I have to do like 15 more burpees. Oh my God, I don't have that in me. And then everyone rallies around them and then they do it, right? But every girl that comes in, and all the way up to women, to my friends, I was training a 68-year-old woman. She was amazing. And it was fantastic. And we all had something in common, but it wasn't working out. We just needed to be less critical of ourselves, and we wanted to become the best version of what we were already.
And so what's your best advice then for women and girls just to have that and to, those sort of values? What's your best advice to give, especially young girls?
Young girls, you know what? You got to find a good support system, people that are there to root you on. That we're looking out all the time. And I see it with these girls. They come in and they're having fights on the playgrounds because so-and-so cut her hair or something like that. It's so ridiculous, but find a good support system and then just move. It doesn't have to be lifting weights. It doesn't have to be playing a sport. It could be going for a walk. It could be riding your bike with friends. For older women, it could be going out and doing gardening in your garden. It could be, that's becoming a better version of yourself because you're getting up and you're getting moving, and you're not going to become a statistic of someone who's going to get on like diabetes or cardiovascular disease or anything like that.
And when it comes to you're a qualified nutrition. When it comes to that nutrition aspect, what's your advice from that point of view?
Yeah. So you know what, in nutrition, a lot of times we're always looking at taking something out of our diet. Oh, don't have that Coke, or, no, don't have that donut. But a lot of times we don't think about adding something into our diet, adding breakfast. How many people don't eat breakfast? I didn't eat breakfast yesterday. I totally forgot because I fed my kids.
I never forget breakfast.
Yeah, you can't forget breakfast,
I love it.
Add that into your diet, like, do you eat greens with every meal? You don't? Well, let's try to add that into your diet. And eventually you're not going to want that Coke anymore. It's going to be none of my doing. It's going to be you, because you're not craving it anymore. And I never took it away from you. I didn't go there and be like, well, in order for you to be the better version of yourself and lose weight and get stronger, I'm taking this Coke away from you, and that's going to make you a better person. It's not. It's going to make you an angry person. And I wouldn't want to work with you because you'd be upset.
And that's seriously what I love about you, though. It's inspiring people, and that's what Savvy Life as well as, and inspiring Savvy Chicks is all about. Not telling people what they can't do, telling people what they can do, and then all of a sudden that just inspires them to want to be better. No, we're actually about to wrap up here shortly, so I want to just let everyone know that you are starting an online program. Which is that? When is that launching, or is that already up and
it's on my webpage right now, and so you can just contact me.
Yeah, we've got the link there. Yes.
Okay.
And then
so
the other thing is for the Savvy Chicks watching today, we will be doing a special Savvy Chicks discount for you. Keep your eye on the Savvy Chicks website. And actually, if you remember the other episode with Sarah, the financial expert, we have her code up. Or actually, we'll have it up tonight. So keep your eye on the Savvy Chicks page so that you can see all the amazing special offers for you, because we love you and we want to inspire and empower you to be the best that you can be. So just any closing notes from you before we head off here, Tiff? It's been awesome having you.
Yeah, no doubt. Good to catch up. You know what? I just want everyone to just think of when they start tomorrow morning off or whatever. Stop being so hard on yourself. Wake up, say 3 grateful things that you are grateful for that day, and then just move a little. Whether that be having a dance party with your kids in the living room or going with a walk with your friends. And that's all I gotta say.
Oh,
thanks for having me.
You're such a beautiful soul. Thank you so much for being on the Savvy Chicks Show. Thank you everyone for tuning in to Think Tech Hawaii. There's plenty of shows, so keep on watching, and we look forward to seeing you next week.